there's no cameras in this room.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Hi, everybody. My name is Josh. I'm the head of the franchise division here at Lightstorm Entertainment. Just for the room, what does franchise do? We are responsible for everything and anything that is not the movie. That is everything, including but not limited to action figures, video games, theme parks, and everything in between. In fact, that shirt you're wearing, rocking there, right there, buddy, I approved that many moons ago, so right on. Thank you for being on brand today. Welcome to the Lightstorm Museum. As we said, everything in here is for public consumption. Feel free to take as many pictures, as many selfies, whatever you want. Put this up on all your LinkedIns and MySpaces, super rad. I'm going to give you the 50-cent tour of everything that's in here. Some insider, fun little stories. Don't hesitate to ask questions, but let's get going. So let's start with these two right here. So these two Na'vi, these were actually created by Gentle Giant. These were for in-theater photo opportunities. So there's 4 sets of these. They were all scattered around Los Angeles, primarily at AMC theaters. So this is Neytiri in her jungle, essentially her Omatakaya costume. And this is Jake in one of his final battle, basically his final battle look, right before the end of the film in Avatar: The Way of Water. The fun thing about these, they're actual size. So if you, as a human, were standing there next to Jake and Neytiri, who stand roughly 3.3 meters tall, this is how big a Na'vi is in real life. So the other 3 are kind of floating around. We'll find them eventually. They're Na'vi. What can you do? One of the really amazing things about Jim's world and the worlds that he's created and the films that he's built, everything he does is grounded in some kind of reality. There's basically science fact. Everything is real and tangible in some way, shape, size, or form. And he does that from everything from the technology that he uses, but to also the in-world universe that he crafts. So everything in Avatar, from the first film and the second film, every prop, every costume, every weapon, was made physically by the amazing craftspeople, both here at Lightstorm, our costume department and our props department, but also the folks down at Weta Workshop. So things like this bow, this is screen used. So in the scene in the first Avatar, when Grace Augustine comes up and she starts like giving the business to Parker Selfridge, this is actually hung above Parker's his desk. But all of these arrows, every costume piece, every knife, every weapon is built physically so Jim can understand the physics of it in the real world. But then, and the actors as well can understand what their character is actually wearing. But then, Weta Workshop turns over all of that material, all the physical material, to their sister company, Weta Digital, just right around the corner, so that when it's scanned 360 degrees to be put into the digital virtual world of Avatar, they have a real world analog for the artist to work against. And that's literally for everything in the film. Every bowl, every knife, every piece of fruit, every arrow, it's all made for real. And it's beautiful. And the craftsmanship is just second to none, which is why the world of Avatar feels so tangible, because everything really is. Like this. This is our amp suit. So this is screen used. So in the first film, when Quaritch is actually performing, he's performing against this giant model. We have 3 of these. There's this one here. There's one down in New Zealand, down at Weta. And there's also another one, a third one, at Pandora, the World of Avatar, down at Disney's Animal Kingdom. But the story of that park is that the land takes place within the Avatar canon generations after the end of the Avatar saga. Okay? So that amp suit has welded shut joints and stuff, basically to showcase that it's decommissioned. So we'll have to figure out how it got there as you all watch and see the world of Avatar unfold. But again, stuff like this, Jim works really tirelessly with his entire his art department to make sure that this kind of stuff actually could work in real life. So he worked really tirelessly on the engineering of this to make sure that it was functional in the real world. So things like the shoulders, that kind of sliding pivot was something that Jim really worked hard on to make sure that a mechanical robot suit that needs to hold a gun like this could actually have shoulders that moved in on itself, other than just a traditional like transformer that is kind of fake in terms of its engineering. And this guy is actually just one really big action figure, and it's fully articulated. So it could be posed if you wanted it to be, which is kind of fun. I've always wanted to get inside, but I think that would be a bad idea. We're going to turn around behind us here to our Alita stuff. This is another film that Lightstorm produced and made in conjunction with Robert Rodriguez, who directed. These two Alitas that you see here, this is Alita in her doll body, this is Alita in her berserker body. These were also in theater photo op statues created by Weta Workshop. They're fully 3D printed, except for her shoes and of course her pajamas. But she has silicone skin, real glass eyes, and rooted hair. So these are right from the Weta models. So these are actually, and again, actual size. This is really how big Rosa Salazar was as the role of Alita Battle Angel. But these bikes right here, these gyroscopic bikes, these are screen used. So if anybody has seen Alita, if you're watching the movie and she's driving around the streets of Iron City with her boyfriend Hugo, Rosa Salazar is actually performing on the back of that gyro bike. Their best friend Tanji, this is his bike. These aren't fully functional. They're pulled on a flatbed truck basically, but they were part of the performance in the multi-hundred square foot Iron City set that was built at Troublemaker Studios. A real city was built. In fact, it was so real that they laid pipe, poured concrete, broke the concrete, and had everything basically fully distressed and functional to make it feel like a post-apocalyptic universe. It was pretty awesome. That is the rocket hammer that Christoph Waltz used in the film. That actually did light. It can open up and you could put a cartridge in there, but it like spouted flames. It's pretty fun. Let's go down here to this guy. I'm sure we're all familiar with this guy right here, this T-800. Who here's seen Terminator 2? Show of hands. All right, whoever has it, get out. No, okay, so T-800. We're all familiar with the top of that film where the basically it's showing the future and the dude walks and he crushes the skull, right? That's this guy right here. That's this hero prop, this one. You can tell this is a hero prop for a couple different reasons. One, he's triple chrome plated. He also has a rubberized spine that helps him move, okay? His fingers are all fully articulated, and they're attached to the tendons here with these wires here running through his arms. He has real teeth. And also, the last thing, you know, it's a hero prop, is this pulse rifle is 1.5 times wider than the other pulse rifles held by the endoskeletons. The reason being is that there's a real machine gun inside here. So, you unscrew this, open it up, you put the magazine in, close it back up together again, and then Jim, back in the olden days, in a fully black box, black room, with a guy wearing a black suit, a black balaclava, stood behind the T-800 and physically puppeted it, right? Because this is basically a giant puppet. He had a string that ran from his finger, attached to a string on one of the tendons here, that when he pulled his finger, the Terminator's finger got pulled, which shot the muzzle flare, caught the blanks in the black box, which was then composited into the final film. Fun thing about this is that if he was standing straight in T-pose, you know, T-pose, he would be the actual size of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because again, Jim needs everything to be science fact. There used to be some kind of grounding about a giant killer cyborg robot. But you had to believe that the size of this endoskeleton could fit inside the molded proto-flesh of Arnold's body in that film. So this really is the interior size of Arnold. It's actually his skull size. There's 3 of these. We have one, Arnold has another, and then a private collector in Japan has the 3rd. Down here, everyone has seen Aliens. Again, I'm assuming another one of the most epic sequels of all time. It's fantastic. This right here, this is the original Power Loader hero prop as performed with Sigourney. So, anytime you see Sigourney performing in the film, in the Power Loader, it's this prop right here. It was fully functional back in the olden days. You can see some cords running there back in the arms. So the arms raised and lowered, back and forth, mandibles open and closed, rotated 360 degrees, and that was a fully functional flamethrower. It's leaking some stuff, probably from LV429, so we don't touch it anymore, but you know, it is what it is. Now, a little fun thing, might be hard for you guys because of the cameras and all that, but it was so heavy that a 300-pound strongman was needed to help me walk it, right? And so his boots are still inside. So Sigourney, when she's performing, he's there behind her when she's like some dude's behind her walking this thing. It was so big. And that right there, friends, is the actual original Alien Queen from 1986. That's the real deal. She was fully audio animatronic, designed by both Jim and Stan Winston. H.R. Giger, who did all of the design work for Alien, Ridley Scott's Alien, didn't do any design work for Aliens. It was all basically Jim and Stan. They designed everything. So this was designed by Jim and Stan. Her lower arms and her upper arms were fully audio animatronic, as was her head and her jaw and inner mandible. She was held aloft by a crane because she was so big, basically. So she had something running from her head, her back, and her tail. Jim wanted her to be both frightening and sexy, so she has high heels. So a little bit of Alien storytelling here. In Alien, the big chap, which was the main alien in that film, was basically all gray. All gray and black. Was like a 100+ pound suit that was walked around by the basketball player that played him. In Aliens, Jim and Stan basically stripped everything down, and the warriors are basically foam parts on a black leotard. And the swarms of aliens that you see in that film that come after the Colonial Marines are really only 6 people being recycled over and over again. And all the aliens in the film are not black. They're dark blue and dark brown, and she also reflects all those colors with a little bit of green. But that's really her. Now let's do some Avatar stuff. I'm assuming we've all seen Avatar. Maybe. We'll see. Who knows? It's a little movie, a little scrappy indie film. So this fun stuff right here, these, again, are created by Weta Workshop. These are actual props from the first film. This is Neytiri's necklaces. This is Moat, her mother's necklace. These maquettes were crafted by master sculptor Jordu Shell. These aren't necessarily representative of what's in the final film, but these were early development. They're kind of faux bronze. The bronzes were done by Gentle Giant, but this was some of the development work that we were doing, and for the Viper Wolf as well. This Neytiri, this is again 1-to-1 actual size. This was made by Legacy FX. She has rooted hair, glass eyes, silicone skin, all the works. Again, if she's looking at you eye to eye, this is how big Neytiri would be in real life. Now, this, just like the Avatar, the Na'vi props, we also do RDA props. So this is the AVTR backpack, the one that Jake goes out on sortie with at the beginning of the film. So anytime you see stuff that's in the Link Shack or any of the other RDA facilities, we also crafted actual props for them as well. And this was something that we had built for one of our earlier exhibitions. This is the actual size of Avatar shoes and boots. So everyone has to get their picture taken over here because this is super fun.
What's
Can't go
the
wrong.
size?
Na'vi. Na'vi size. These busts, as you see here, and these costumes, these are all created by the incredible craftsmen and artisans working on our film. These busts are not actual size, but these are created by our costumes and props and development and design departments to basically get approval and alignment on paint, makeup, hair, accessories. So, does Jim like the way that they have painted the Tanawari skin tone? Because the Metkaina clan are reef people. They have a different skin tone because they are a reef people. They are a marine adapted clan that's different than the forest dwelling Omatakaya clan. So does this work? Are the bioluminescent dots right? Interestingly enough, these were done early in the process where you can see those maquettes down there. They have golden eyes and so do this. But as the development went on, Jim actually changed the Metkaina eye color to blue. So these aren't fully accurate now because he changed the eye color of that clan. And stuff like this, again, the costumes, the weapons, the props, everything was built physically by our costume designer, Deb Scott, and her team, hand in glove with the folks down in the workshop, where you're creating these beautiful pieces that tell stories about each character and who they are and what they are. So like this is Tanawari, his character. This is his ceremonial cape, that's his kind of spear of office. This is an Akula tooth. So that big nasty shark thing that goes after Loak in the film, this is a tooth from that. It's part of his storytelling. He's the Oloekton, he's the leader of the clan. He has the most impressive look. This is Ronal, as played by Kate Winslet. This is her clan, this is her outfit. All of these are kind of ceremonial things from her costume. This is Neytiri, this is Jake, this is his Omatakaya costume. When an Omatakaya warrior, the forest people, when they go through their rite of passage, and they become kind of adults or full members of the clan, they are given this cummerbund as kind of a status of office. So this is this is one of their rights, they get this. But the Metkaina, I think we have it here. No, we don't have it on this one. They get a shoulder guard that they wear. That's their ceremonial rite of passage. So again, we take ideas from our world, we take new inspirational cultural ideas from all of our different places, and one of our big kind of core tenets is that Pandora is Earth. That there's always a one-to-one analog for what the beauty and the majesty of what we see here is showcased on Pandora, but alien and different and new. So that's why you see such interesting things here in all of their costumes that are created with such loving care. A little bit more Avatar fun stuff here. Again, more maquettes. Fun things in this cabinet. This Banshee head. Okay, this head, this here, and these are the original plates. So you can see those there. We're going to move this along here. We've got some Titanic stuff behind you. That's the actual plate, the one from before and after, where the heart of the ocean was. This here is the Harrier jet from True Lies. That's the miniature. There's a little Arnold Schwarzenegger up in there too. This is the engine room from the Titanic. So anything that happens to the Titanic in the engine room, anything at all, shoveling coal, doing jobs, dying, whatever, it's all filmed against a green screen and then digitally composited into this model. A very small section of this was actually filmed on a real steamship, about this big, right out that corner. That's up in Dry Dock in Marin County right now. But anything else was using this miniature, and it was done like this. It's a little movie magic for you folks. This is the car from the scene with the handprint on the back. It may or may not be Kate's handprint. She is in Avatar 2. She was filming here with the DVD. But this car is not real. Only the wheels are. Everything else is completely fake and prop. This, though, is real. This lifeboat, Jim needed it to fully function. In order to do so, he went back to the London Patent Office. He found the original patent drawings for the ship and for the boat and the davits, okay, the things that raise and lower. And what he did is he had the original Dutch manufacturer that made the lifeboats and the davits for the Titanic remake them for the film. So these are real, actual, historic replicas. Now these two ships behind us here, this ship and the wreck, this is a 1/18th scale model of the Titanic. This model is 100% historically accurate. When the Titanic, when it was being filmed, it was the first time ever that we used fully digital water with this model, fully digital sky and everything else, and the first time ever that was digital crowds. So on this model, they populated it to make sure that it could be as accurate as possible. This smokestack never lit on this model because that was never lit on the actual Titanic. That was broken when it launched. We did actually build half the Titanic from about here up down in Mexico. And it was built that when you lit the smokestacks, the smoke would blow into the prevailing wind, giving the illusion of motion, except it was incorrect. That was 180 degrees on the opposite side of the planet because it launched from the UK. So the entire opening sequence of the Titanic, everything from when the car is up on the thing and Kate gets out with her hat and all that stuff, everything. Every men's shirt was tailored backwards. Hair was parted opposite. White Star was written backwards, and everything was filmed in reverse and then flopped to ensure historical accuracy. This wreck, this is actually what the Titanic looked like when it was being filmed. In the opening scene of the film, when you see the sub going through the actual wreckage, that's Jim's real footage from when he dove the Titanic. You can't go back down there for pickup shots, so all of the material that was captured was used to build this wreck if we needed to go back and shoot more on basically the grounded version. And then the finale right here is this. Oh wait, we're coming around. Hold on. Go around. A minute. You got it. You're first. This is first in line. You're first in line. No. This is, so here is John Landau's actual Best Picture Oscar for Titanic. And then this is the actual real Heart of the Ocean, as worn by Kate Winslet in the film. Fun story. We used to be in Manhattan. We used to have our offices in Santa Monica. And we often would have things go off on exhibition or go on loan to different places. in fact, right now we have a huge selection of Abyss props that are actually in an exhibition somewhere in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. This went off onto exhibition, and it came back to a certain person who was currently working at the office or what have you at the time. They put it in a box, they knew where it was, they put it safe, they put it in their desk drawer. Cool, rad, I know where it is, great. When we moved from Santa Monica down here to Manhattan Beach, furniture was just getting donated and given away wholesale because we're not gonna move stuff. And cooler heads prevailed and said, hey, we should go through the drawers and the desk to see if there's anything important, like files or pens or the heart of the ocean. And this was found about to be donated with along with the desks, so it would have been lost to time, just like at the end of the film. But now it's on permanent location and display here at the Lightstorm Museum. And kind of this is the grand finale, and anybody who wants to try on the heart of the ocean, you're more than happy to try it on. In fact, we have our first try on right here.
I didn't mean to be overly eager.
Ready? So the best photo is right over here against the Titanic. So you can actually get your picture taken by the ship with the heart of the ocean. Look at this, your heart goes on, young lady. And actually a fun story about this, Adele, the singer, she is a massive Titanic fan. All right, so go in front of the Titanic. Almost done. Oh yeah, you can pick up the Oscar. Oh yeah, this is super heavy. Anybody wants to pick it up? Go ahead. So funny story about this. Yeah, go on in front of the Titanic and get your picture taken.
Okay, hold the Oscar picture.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, that might be cool.
Adele is a massive Titanic fan.
Can you do it
Plus
with
it
me?
solves the what do I do with my hands question.
Do you want to do
Yeah,
the
can I have
Oscar
it for the
first?
picture real quick? Sorry.
Yeah.
We'll get the first off of
Okay.
All right, hold on, real quick. There you go. Get in here.
Okay, I'll be quick. Sorry.
For her 30th birthday, Adele had a Titanic-themed birthday party where it had multiple rooms that basically went along the story of the film. Well, Jim's chief of staff went to the party and brought the heart of the ocean as a kind of gift, as a surprise for Adele. And the special guest who presented Adele with the heart of the ocean to wear during her party was Leonardo DiCaprio. And so they partied the night away wearing the original heart of the ocean. All right, anyone else care to wear? Yeah, are you down? All right, line starts here, everybody. But yeah, more than happy. So by all means, if anyone has any questions about anything you've seen here or anything, please don't hesitate. Let me know. Feel free to take as many pictures as you like. But yeah, that was the nickel.